from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
New metrics from the Virginia Department of Health could help school system officials determine when to resume in-person learning. We'll have details on today's Henrico News Minute for Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. It's brought to you today by Henrico Area Mental Health.
And now for the news.
A new Virginia Department of Health COVID-19 dashboard is designed to provide guidance by locality for school systems in the state, as many are considering some form of in-person learning. It shows mostly encouraging news about the risk of transmission in Henrico County. The new School Metrics tab shows the number of new cases per 100,000 people during the past 14-day period, as well as the 14-day positivity percentage by locality, the percent change in new cases per 100,000 during the past 7 days compared to the previous 7 days, and the percentage of hospital inpatient beds in the region that are occupied, and the percentage of those beds occupied by COVID patients, among other data. Henrico's number of new cases per 100,000 people during the past 2 weeks is 117. That places it in the higher risk category, which is the fourth peg on a 5-tiered scale, with the higher risk being the fifth. But the county's 14-day positivity percentage of 3.4 is considered lower risk, while its negative 30.8% change in new cases per 100,000 people during the most recent 7 days is considered the lowest risk. Less than 4% of hospital inpatient beds in the region are filled by COVID patients. That's another lowest risk data point. The VDH established 3 sets of core indicators for school systems to consider. They include the total cases per 100,000 people, the 14-day positivity percentage, and the ability of a school district to implement 5 key mitigation strategies, including the correct use of masks, social distancing, hand hygiene, contact tracing, and cleaning and disinfection. Henrico's numbers across the board essentially are equal to or more encouraging than those of Chesterfield, Hanover, and Richmond. More encouraging news is that as of yesterday, the Central Virginia region, a wide-ranging geographic area that includes Henrico as well as other localities that go as far south as the North Carolina border, has improved to a moderate range of risk level for COVID-19 spread. That's a key metric that Henrico schools officials have been monitoring for the past month and a half. It has been in the high range until now. School officials are currently weighing options for what the second 9 weeks of school could look like, and at the school board's October 22nd meeting, the board will receive a recommendation from its health committee about a course of action to take. COVID-19 has made 2020 a year to forget in most ways, but when it comes to air quality, the pandemic has had a positive effect. Clean air in Virginia has reached historic levels, with 34 more good air quality days this year than the previous record that was set in 2017. And that metric is attributable in part to the pandemic's impact on travel, according to state officials. There were no unhealthy air quality readings at 22 of Virginia's 23 ozone pollution monitors maintained by the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality. The pandemic has meant many folks are not driving as much, and that has certainly had an impact on the low ozone readings, according to Air and Renewable Energy Division Director Michael Dowd of the state. But he also said the low levels of pollution are in line with the long-term trend of lower ozone concentrations statewide. Henrico Police are seeking the suspects who allegedly carjacked a victim on Saturday. It happened shortly after 7:30 in the 5000 block of Williamsburg Road. The suspects stole the victim's vehicle as well as a cell phone. They were armed with a small black semi-automatic handgun. The vehicle they took was a 2016 black Chevy Malibu with chrome accents. The vehicle has 30-day temporary tags. Anyone who has information about the crime, the location of the stolen vehicle, or who knows the identity of the suspects is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 780-1000 or Detective Bartol with Henrico Police at 617-8160. The suspects are 2 black males. You can see pictures of them on henricocitizen.com by clicking on News and then Crime. Well, the pandemic has made it very difficult for restaurants to continue to operate. We've chatted with 3 Henrico restaurants as part of a 3-part video series examining how they've made it. You can check out the second of those videos on henricocitizen.com right now by clicking on Dining and see our visit to Jackie's restaurant in Eastern Henrico. From that link, you can also watch the first video in the series, which features Capital Ale House in Innsbruck. A motorcyclist died Sunday after running a red light at more than 100 miles an hour and crashing into a pickup truck in northern Henrico. It happened shortly after 3 p.m. that day on Chamberlain Road. The motorcyclist ran through a red light at Wilkinson Road, then attempted to do the same at the intersection of Chamberlain and Diane Lane, but collided with a Nissan pickup truck that was making a legal left turn at a green light onto Chamberlain. The motorcyclist was wearing a helmet but was ejected and died at the scene.
Every 12 minutes, a Virginian dies from an opioid overdose.
Every 12 minutes.
Opioid overdoses are on the increase in Henrico. Yes, the opioid epidemic is still impacting residents in Henrico.
But you can help.
To find out what you can do, go to bouncebackhc.com.
That's bouncebackhc.com. Knowledge is power, including learning about naloxone. That's naloxone, which can temporarily reverse the toxic effects of an opioid or heroin overdose.
Get informed, get help, save a life.
Go to bouncebackhc.com. That's bouncebackhc.com.
To equip yourself with the knowledge to help our residents and the community of Henrico County against the opioid epidemic.
Knowing what to do will allow you to be prepared to save a life. Go to bouncebackhc.com today.
That's bouncebackhc.com or call 804-727-8515.
That's 804-727-8515. Directly for substance abuse services.
This message is sponsored by Henrico Area CSB Prevention Services.